From my point of view, it's all about integrating movement back into the office because our lifestyles have become more sedentary. You know, it's very easy to rack up those hours and hours of sitting without even really thinking about it too much. So I think it's more about integrating movement and activity back into our lives. And if sit-stands are a good way to do that, then that's another thing that allows us to integrate that movement back into our daily lifestyles.
We found that all the top performing companies, when they offered choice to the workplace, they were across the board significantly higher in focus, in collaboration, in innovation, even in socialising as well. So actually created a more kind of better well-being kind of workplace.
After 3 months of use, something like 80% of people use the desk once a month. So without some sort of assistance, they won't. And that's where we see a need or a role for software to actually remind people to actually use their desks. And now in doing that, we can encourage use, but we can also try and prevent misuse.
The behavioural change is very difficult because people, you know, if they get hold of a product like that, you could go with a manual system that's very instinctive to you, so you can pull it up and push it down very quickly. If it's an electric system, people get bored of having to push a button because it takes some time to go up. So after a couple of weeks of using it, they've given up and it's in a sitting position, or worse still, it's in a standing position. And actually I walk into environments where they have put, whether it's an on-desk type product or a manual product or an electric product, and it astonishes me actually how many people of them are in the sat position. So, you know, it's something that is, if a company is going to invest in it, and certainly the advice I will give is actually invest in some education around making sure these people understand how to use it.
Because people are being offered more and more choice in the office, they need to be more educated in you know, how they make their choices. So I think it comes down to, I think you said it a few times, James, is the activities that they're doing. So for example, if you are using a sit-to-stand desk, I'll have a tendency to use the standing height when I'm doing things like checking emails or doing sort of, you know, relatively quick tasks. If I had to concentrate on a heavy report, or if I was doing lots of research reading or something like that, actually I can't concentrate when I'm standing up for long periods of time, so I would need to drop the desk to be able to do those different activities.
I think we're now kind of moving away from this idea of just activity-based working and those kind of things, maybe towards more like a kind of experience-based working, where it's a lot more kind of subtle, where the design language is a lot more kind of threaded with different types of workplaces for different types of not just activity, but that experience, so that you intrinsically know, intuitively know even, what activities take place in what area.
I think we're getting to the position now where we've got all this evidence coming out about these metabolic disorders from sedentary working, of which sitting in an office all day can be a significant part. Yep, you still got your own responsibility outside work, but inside work, then there is now knowledge starting to gather that says if you put someone in a sitting position 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 48 weeks a year, then potentially they're building up problems for themselves. And I think people are seeing the clouds on the horizon that at some point somebody's going to come forward and say, you employed me and all you gave me was a desk and a chair. And I think people are beginning to wonder whether or not that situation is going to arise from office work.